It's Sunday. Good afternoon.
はい、こんにちは。
It's your turn today, Kosume-san.
いえ、本当は姉さんです。姉さん、土日は自分が打ち水と掃除をやるって私とお母さんに言ってたんですよ。きっと小ヶ坂さんと一緒にお仕事をしたかったからだと思いますけど。
I see.
ですから小ヶ坂さん、姉さんを悲しませたら
You'll reappear with a Naginata, won't you?
よくわかってらっしゃいますね。
Say, Kosume-san.
小ヶ坂さん、
Kosume sticks out her finger. That gesture reminds me of the everyday Kosume.
それ以上は言わなくて結構です。これはどうしようもないことですから。私がいなくなることはどうしようもないことなんですよ。
Kosume and I finish the work and go inside the house.
どうぞ、麦茶ですよ。
After changing into her casual clothes, Kosume brings me some tea. Today's barley tea is cold, huh?
気温が高かったですからね。
You're also dressed fairly lightly.
エッチな目で見ていますか？
I didn't mean lightly as in revealing.
とてもしょんぼりです。
Is she trying to hit on me?
小ヶ坂さんが私にエッチなことをしたら心置きなくなぎなたでバッサリ切れましたのに。
I've been suspecting this for a while, but do you want to see me dead or something, Kosume-san?
愛情表現の範囲ですよ。
Kosume-san, you're quite the sadist.
姉さんが M ですから。
How is Hisakaki now? Hisakaki didn't show up at the shrine grounds.
姉さんは今朝から部屋に閉じこもりっきりです。まだ眠っているのかもしれません。姉さんずっと泣いていましたから。
I see.
昨べは家に帰ってからも姉さんをなだめるのに苦労したんですよ。
Should I have been there too?
いえ、それを断ったのは私ですから。この問題はまずは私と姉さんの2人で解決しなければならないんです。小ヶ坂さんの役目は私がいなくなった後に姉さんのそばにいてあげることですよ。昨日はお風呂でお盛んでしたね。
How do you know about that? Why are you bringing that up all of a sudden?
声が漏れていましたから。
Oh,
今後は気をつけた方がいいとお別れする前に忠告したかったんです。
I have no intention of saying goodbye to you.
エッチなのはいけませんよ。
What are you implying by that?
私と姉さんとで 3P をしたいのかと。
I mean, I wouldn't mind that. How did you come to that conclusion?
私のこと嫌いですか？
Isn't that a completely different matter?
私の初めては姉さんと小ヶ坂さんのどちらに捧げればいいんでしょう。
How am I supposed to respond to that?
くわばらくわばら。
Kosume smiles happily. I really can't imagine her to be dead already. Kuwabara is said to ward off lightning, isn't it?
よくご存知ですね。由来はいろいろあるようですけど、菅原道真の領地だった桑原には一度も雷が落ちなかったため、それにあやかっているというのが一般的のようですよ。
Kosume-san, are you scared of lightning?
いえ、私が苦手なのは人から詮索をされることです。私は小学校にほとんど通っていないと言いましたよね。それは人の身じゃないことを誰かに知られたくなかったからなんです。今はその頃よりはこの身を受け入れていますから、ひばり校にも普通に通っていますけど、それでもやっぱり自分の正体を詮索されたくなくて、くわばらくわばらが口癖になってしまったみたいです。人の注意を雷に例えているわけですね。
Kosume-san, you're strong like Hisakaki.
そんな風に言われるとは思いもよりませんでした。
You are able to speak in a composed manner.
強がっているだけですよ。
In that sense, you are just like Hisakaki.
それは私にとって最高の褒め言葉ですね。
Well, I am complimenting you.
エッチなのはいけませんよ。
I'm not making a move on you. I don't think I can ever beat Kosume at this.
小ヶ坂さんは展望台の事故をどこまで把握していますか？
I didn't expect her to touch upon the subject. I don't know anything specific. If you claim to have lost your life there, I don't know why you're still here in front of me.
それではお話しいたします。
Kusame sits up properly.
あなたには知る権利がありますから。母ももうあなたには隠さずとも良いと考えているでしょうから、姉さんを託すという意味合いで全てをお話ししようと思います。それは今から7年前の初夏のこと。私はご神体であるひばりが咲隕石を晴天宮から持ち出して展望台を目指しました。それは姉さんを困らせたいという目的があったからです。夏祭りが近く、ご神体の前で神楽の練習に打ち込んでいた姉さんが私に全然構ってくれなかったから。私は甘えん坊な子供でした。夏休みに入れば毎日のように姉さんにくっついているのが常でした。夏祭りに海水浴に肝試し。私は姉さんと遊ぶのを楽しみにしていました。なのにその年からは母に言われ、姉さんは巫女神楽の練習をすることになりました。夏祭りに舞姫として神楽を舞うのはまだ何年か先でも、早くから練習は必要ということで、そのため夏休みは私と遊べないと言われてしまったんです。その前月の7月からも私と遊ぶ時間がほとんどなくなってしまったんです。私がいくら誘っても生真面目な姉さんは一日たりとも練習を休もうとはしません。私に構ってくれません。それどころか神楽がうまく舞えない時は私と遊ぶ約束を破ってまで練習に励むようになりました。私は寂しさに泣いて、それでも姉さんは困った顔をするだけで練習を続けようとして、私はついに姉さんが見ている前でご神体を盗み出し、家を飛び出してしまったんです。もう日が暮れかけた時間でした。神社の裏手に伸びる林道を走って、時折後ろを振り返って姉さんが怒りながら追いかけているのを見て、私は嬉しくなってまた走って、展望台に着いたところで追いつかれそうになって、私はご神体を投げ捨てて逃げるように木に登ったんです。姉さんは危ないから降りてこいと必死に下から呼びかけていました。私は得意になってますます上に登りました。途中で疲れたので頑丈そうな枝に腰を下ろして姉さんを見下ろしました。姉さんがとても小さく見えました。怖かったですけど、姉さんの私を呼ぶ声がまだ聞こえていたので安心したのかもしれません。私は眼下に広がる景色を眺めました。夕焼けの赤に沈むひばりが崎の街並みは恐ろしいくらい鮮烈で、見入るほどに綺麗でした。顔を上げると夕闇と闇夜、赤と黒の境目がくっきりと見えました。そしてその時見つけたんです。その境目を裂くように横切る星。夕焼けの赤に負けず光り輝く一番星、流れ星でした。流れ星が珍しくないひばりが崎でもあんなに大きなものは初めてでした。その流れ星は長い時間空を流れていました。私は下にいる姉さんに教えようとしました。流れ星が見える、あそこに見えるって。空を指さしながら下を覗き込んで、その体勢が悪かったんでしょうね。私はバランスを崩し、枝を掴んでいたもう片方の手を滑らせて落ちてしまったんです。そこから先の記憶は少し飛んでしまいます。気がついた時、私は姉さんの前に立っていました。 姉さんは私が持ち出したひばりが咲隕石を抱いて眠っていました。顔にはたくさんの涙の跡、衣服や手には血の名残がありました。私は訳も分からず、そんな姉さんをただぼんやりと見下ろしていました。そして私たちを探しに来た母に見つかり、こっぴどく叱られながら家に連れ返されて、数日後、私は自分の体の変化に気づきました。私は食事を取らなくても空腹にならない体質になっていました。私は太陽の光に当たっても日焼けをしない体質になっていました。この身に血は通っていても、およそ人間とは思えない体質が他にもたくさん見つかりました。私は両親に相談し、ちょうどこの頃から悪夢にうなされていた姉さんも同じように相談していて、父の病院で2人で内密に検査を受け、私がすでに展望台で死んでいたことが分かりました。この結果を父は隠蔽したのだと思います。でなければ今頃私は医療機関に体の隅々までいじられていたかもしれません。エッチなこともされていたかもしれませんね。笑えませんか？
I won't laugh.
しょんぼりですね。
I would never let them do anything to you at some medical or research center.
私を守ってくれるんですか？
Yeah,
その言葉、かけるべき相手を間違えていませんか？
I'm sure.
刹那先輩も私を守ると言ってくださいました。だから小ヶ坂さんは姉さんをよろしくお願いします。
Setsuna also said this to me before, that I should use my power to protect one person with all my might.
私がすでに死んでいる、そう聞かされた時、すぐには信じられませんでした。ですが現実に私の体は他と異なっていましたから、信じるしかなかったんです。私は絶望し、泣き明かすようになりました。両親はずっと謝っていました。父も母も悪くない、悪いのは私なのに、ずっと謝っていました。私は誰の顔も見たくなくなって、何より自分の体を人に知られたくなくて、学校に通えなくなりました。そんな風にメソメソと部屋に引きこもっている間、姉さんがいつも私を慰めてくれたんです。姉さんは私がなぜ登校拒否をするのか知らなかったようです。いえ、忘れたと言った方が正しいでしょう。姉さんは私の前で決して事故のことに触れようとしませんでした。最初は私に気を使っていたためでしたが、いつからか本当に忘れたような素振りを見せ始めました。だからかもしれません。両親は私とどのように接するべきか迷っていたのに、姉さんだけは分け隔てなく接してくれた。普段と何も変わらず私のそばにいてくれたんです。私はまた姉さんに甘えられるようになりました。昔以上に甘えるようになりました。姉さんのぬくもりを感じたい。姉さんの吐息を感じたい。姉さんの存在を感じたい。姉さんを感じている自分を感じたい。姉さんに触れたら、ほら、こんなにも感じられる。生きてるって感じられる。私は生きてるんだって。
Kosame-san. Not knowing how I should react, I ask her, is there really nothing we can do?
はい。
You've been with us like this up until now, yet is parting the only answer?
はい。私は間違った存在ですから。
No one thinks that way.
思っていますよ。
I won't let anyone get away with thinking that.
それではお願いします。この私をお願いします。小ヶ坂さんは私をどう容赦しませんか？ 私を襲いますか？私とエッチなことしますか？
If I do, I'll get stabbed, won't I?
姉さんがすると思いますよ。
Is there really nothing we can do?
刹那先輩はお仕事を降りてしまいましたけど、私は今夜メアさんに頼むつもりです。私を送り返してほしいと、悪夢そのものである私を買ってほしいと。メアさんは私に少なからず恨みを抱いていると思いますから、きっと一思いに買ってくれると思うんです。
I drop by Hisakaki's room. I knock hesitantly, no response, just as I am contemplating whether to knock again.
誰？
A faint voice travels across the door. It's me, Hisakaki.
小笠坂君、
I want to see you. Can I come in?
ごめんなさい。
A tear-filled voice. Hisakaki isn't asleep. In fact, she probably hasn't slept at all.
少しでいいの。少しでいいから。整理させて、心の準備をさせて。
I can't bring myself to respond. Preparing to part with Kusame, huh? Or, Hisakaki, just one thing. Kusame-san is going to the lookout tonight. I believe in you.
それでこそ私の彼氏よ。
I believe in her. Hisakaki is strong. Beneath her bluff, she has true strength. So, regardless of what conclusion awaits us, we can accept it. That's not all. We can change it to a conclusion that we desire. She opens her eyes to a rat. A rat permeating into her room. Komomo gets up listlessly and looks at it head on. Her eyes hurt. Her eyes were swollen from tears. In the depths of her very eyes, she sees the fiery memories as vividly as ever. I was a young and small girl, holding an unbalanced naginata and dancing around dangerously. Just watching it would cause cold sweat to form at the thought of whether or not I'd hurt myself. Kusame also seemed to be scared as she watched from afar. There were practice blades too, but I often used the real one unbeknownst to Mom. I didn't dance well. Due to my stubbornness as a child, I would start over when I failed. As she watched from a distance, Kusame must have been thinking about what she could have done for me. She said she wanted to practice too. However, I was acting coldly because I was frustrated from doing badly. Stay back, this has nothing to do with you, because I'm the one doing the dance, not you. That's why I didn't have time to play with her. I was chosen to be the future dancer, not Kusame. In addition to being the eldest daughter, due to my Seitengu blood, I had extraordinary spiritual powers. I didn't believe in such powers, but I still might have felt special. I neglected Kusame's feelings. I repelled Kusame's acts of kindness. Kusame became lonely until one day she stole the enshrined meteorite during practice. I guess Kusame wanted me to stop practicing. Perhaps she thought that if I didn't have the object, there would be no point in practicing. Taken by surprise, I was left alone in the shrine building. I decided to continue practicing in the quiet building. Then regret overcame me. I realized that the worship object no longer being there wasn't the problem, it was Kusame's absence. An epiphany. Had Kusame not been watching me all this time, I wouldn't have been able to continue with the rigorous training.
小雨、危ないから降りてきてよ。危なくないよ。私、お姉ちゃんと同じで運動神経いいんだから。いいから降りてきてったら。もう暗くなってきたし、早く帰るわよ。私、帰らないから。小雨、怒ってるの？悪かったから、明日から一緒に遊んであげるから。何？よく聞こえないよ。
Kusame was already that high up, to the point where my voice wouldn't reach her. She wasn't looking at me, but instead she had her eyes fixed on the far-off streets. Having given up on calling out to her, I decided to climb up the tree and drag her down myself. Just as I laid my hands on the trunk, I sensed a bright light in the sky for an instant. It was so bright that I had to cover my head. I timidly turned towards the light. A shooting star! I'd never seen such a large shooting star. It flew and flew. Just as it was about to disappear, I remembered Kosame and looked up. Kosame was no longer there. The darkness happened to fall at the same time, and I reflexively reached out. What I felt at the tip of my fingers was Kosame as she fell. And then I heard a thump. And felt a sudden feeling of loss, as if half of me was ripped apart. My vision went around in circles. The scenery turned monochrome. I didn't even know whether I was standing on the ground or not. Amidst the green and black, Kosame was dyed in crimson. She was colored in a red even vivider than the sunset. That's why I knew that the red wasn't just from the sunset, but also flowing from Kosame. It's gotten cold. This reality feels like it's about to freeze. Overlooking the scene again, she started to grow cold together with Kosame's body. It's cold. It's so cold, it feels like she's going to freeze. Eventually, even that starts to fade, turning into nothingness. She knows. This is what they call death. A definitive death. Even if the death is conclusive, she can overturn it if she musters her power. The meteorite that was thrown away was dyed in Kosame's blood. The scarlet leaking out from the soulless vessel is filled with the origins of life. It's something Mom taught me one time. I vaguely recall the star spirit ritual. I have no time to find star sand. However, the meteorite is there. That's why I'm sure. The precious lives born in the sea originate from the even vaster space. After the ritual, another Kosame stood in front of me. After confirming this amidst my fading consciousness, the Kosame who was lying down disappeared into starlight. So it's almost like Komomo revived her. I had successfully communicated with the dead using the meteorite we had worshipped in the Seitengu. However, perhaps due my consciousness being hazy at the time, I didn't really believe that I did all that. It was just a bad dream. A nightmare. Because Kosame is in my arms. I can feel her warmth. Kosame is alive. She's not dead. That's what I always convinced myself with. With that mentality, I started seeing dreams every night where I would fall in bright red surroundings. I discussed these dreams with my parents. After the both of us were examined at the hospital, Mom and Dad told me. Kosame was dead already. The current Kosame is similar to a ghost. Things can't go on as they once were. One day she has to be sent off from where she should be. I opposed it. What's so bad about being a ghost? I don't want to be separated from Kosame. My parents were at a loss. They were at a loss, but they didn't answer me. I continued to be tormented by the nightmares. I saw Kosame dying a countless number of times. I convinced myself that Kosame was still alive, but her death continued being thrust upon me in my dreams. I cursed the shooting star which stole Kosame's life. If the shooting star hadn't caught my attention, I should have been able to catch her. I was fine with getting squashed. I was fine with being a cushion. I was fine with the dying and Kosame's dead. I threw rocks at the sky at the lookout. I threw them and demanded Kosame back. I threw and threw. I continued throwing them at the taunting stars, which were unreachable by hand. I think that's when it happened. That's when I met Mare. Perhaps the effects of having my nightmare reaped are still there, as I still haven't recalled what happened the time I met Mare. All I know is that I lost my memories of the accident at the lookout. What remained was my hatred for the stars, and my incompatibility with the lookout. Having lost my memories of the accident, perhaps I wanted things to stay that way forever. That's probably what I subconsciously desired. I didn't want to face Kusame's death. I wanted to believe that Kusame was alive. That's why I was unable to enter the lookout. If I did, I might end up recalling the memories I had finally lost. Afraid of that, my body itself rejected the lookout. Even without memories, my body remembers itself throwing rocks at the stars. I rejected it without knowing it. Komomo gets out of bed. Light from the setting sun passes through the window. The sunset she hates. She has always been running from the rat.
だけどもう思い出したからね。
Because she went to the lookout during the summer holidays, her memories have reawakened and manifested themselves in the form of her childhood nightmares. Komomo takes off her pajamas and starts getting ready.
逃げるわけにはいかないのよ。
She's in her underwear. Since she's covered in sweat, she takes them off too. Completely naked, she touches the place before she changes. She touches the skin there. It's still here. That person is still here.
待たせるわけにもいかないのよ。
Komomo picks up her red clothes.